All right, Goldie, you're hearing all this. I'm sure you know the ladies that we talked about. You heard the ladies respond. What's your advice to men these days? You see these women advocating for divorce. You coach a lot of men. You know, you said, I'm married to the game, right? So what's your advice for the average dude out there that's looking to have a pretty woman in his life? Should he get married? Should he never get married? How do you raise kids? What's your best approach?
Well, one, I say to that lady who was talking, misery loves company. So, you know, nobody wants to be single and divorced by themselves. Exactly. And as far as dudes, you should never get married. There's no benefit to a man to get married. If you can tell me one, you can tell me one. If one of these ladies wants to give me a benefit for the man, but there's no benefit for a man to get married. You understand? It benefits the woman more, so there's really no point. You know, marriage is what a made-up idea, you know, so I don't need the government and a piece of paper to make you not leave me. You know, you could leave me, you could cheat on me regardless of this paper, so why do we need it? So if you leave, you could take half of what I have. So it's really just not a smart business decision.
So where do you factor in prenups, paperwork, arrangements, right? Because you're 24 years old, right? You got married, you're how old?
23.
23. You got engaged, almost married when you were 19.
They're useless.
You don't have any money. You ain't got shit going on.
Yeah.
You think, oh, what are you going to take half of my snack pack over here? Like, I don't have anything. So this is what I say for most men, like at this point in my life, if I ever get married, because I was engaged for a long time, had a prenup, thank God. If I ever get married again, believe me, I got too much to lose at this point. But when that's why I tell people, guys should wait their time and women should prioritize their time and maximize their time. But for young men out there, did you just say, don't ever get married? Even older men? Like, is it across the board? Is it a blanket statement?
If you have nothing to get taken from you, then yeah, go ahead, get married. But if you have something worth losing, no, don't get married.
Do you advocate also not living with women then?
Not what?
Not living with women.
No, I don't not advocate for that. You could live with a woman.
So can you live with a woman for like 3 years but just not marry her?
You could live with a woman for 20
years. But then she's
years
entitled to everything that she would be in a marriage.
In what state?
Most states.
Not all states.
What about
all
kids,
of them.
like legally after 7 years?
Yeah, I don't think that's every state, though.
Well, he's saying to keep it pure.
That's not true, though. What she said about common law marriage, yes, there are some common law marriage states, but they are not the majority. What she just said was inaccurate. We can look it up, but that's not
Like,
right.
as long as you don't have a contract saying that if one of us screws this up, we get something out of it, or I can tank you, then you know at least your love is genuine because I can leave whenever I want, right?
Yeah,
It's almost like a business.
But you can get a contract to avoid that. It's called a prenup.
But if you live together,
set it up
that
so that
even
even if
boils
you're
down
married
to
with
it.
somebody
So then what would
and
be
then
the
you
point?
leave, the contract says you leave with what you came with.
So what was the benefit of us getting married?
For the man.
Well, it was a benefit in the sense that you're making a commitment to this person and you decide to go to the extreme of signing documents and putting money into it and having this whole experience and having a family and building and so on and so forth, that you can protect yourself by making that. It's just like any type of investment you make. You get insurance.
Well, let me ask you guys this last question. So I hear you. Like, men, especially since a lot of podcasts like this have popped up, these conversations happen, and I'm friends with a lot of the guys that do this, they say, listen, why? It makes no sense for a guy, especially a successful guy, right? You know, I have a lot of buddies that are married, successful guys. Now they've been married 10 years. They got married in their early 30s. They're in their early 40s now. We're starting to see some divorces start to occur. It's not so much the great divorce, but it's starting to occur. Right. Got it. But, you know, they say it takes two to tango, that whole deal. I totally understand where you're coming from, especially if you have too much to lose. But I want to understand from the ladies. You're dating a guy. It's been 2 years, 3 years, whatever. You're 26, 24, 28, 32, whatever. It's time to get married, right? You said you're 29, 27. All right. You're dating a guy. You don't have the marriage conversation the first day. We get it. You're dating. And you want to have that conversation. He goes, look, baby, I love you. All right? I want to be with you. I want to spend my time with you. I want to have kids with you. I want to have a family with you. I just can't do the government marriage thing. I'll marry you in a courthouse. I'm not in a courthouse. I'll marry you in a church, in a temple, in a mosque. We'll go to the beach. We'll go away. We'll do a destination. I can't. I have too much to lose. You know, I would love to be with you forever. I can't do it. I want to be with you. I just can't actually do the paperwork. What would you say?
I'm fine with that. If we have the whole lifestyle, like living together with kids and a party to celebrate our love, and it's pure like that, I'm totally fine with that. I'm not dependent on a man really for like anything financial. I can take care of myself. So if we're like naturally and organically coming together, I'm completely fine with that.
Yeah, but that's easy to say when you don't have kids, sweetheart. Of course, when you pop out 2-3 kids, you're not going to be like, listen, I don't need a man, I can take care of myself. No, you're literally going to be taking care of the kids.
I would assume another like kind of agreement that we're 50-50 responsible for the children.
Okay, so there is an agreement now.
Yeah, but we're not talking about a marriage contract, right?
Okay.
Right, so I'm okay
I'm
with
asking
the
you guys what would work in that.
Absolutely not.
What are you going to say?
I would. I don't know. If you've been common law for 3 years, you're basically entitled to anything that a married woman is. So if a guy was
Is that
is
actually
not true.
fact though?
Yes.
Common law,
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
entitled to anything?
Careful now.
basically, yeah.
Let's look this up. I do not believe that's true. And she's regurgitating this again and again. I looked this information up on several websites, and the overall consensus is that it's 8 states. 8 out of 50. Now, it is some other websites that would tell you list other states, but there's common law to certain capacities, not all in all what this woman is saying. So we got 8 out of 50, and she keeps parading that around as if that's all 50 states. And this is why you have to challenge people when they say certain things. You got to have proof other than just running off at your mouth.
Everything. It's
For like 3 weeks,
You're
relax.
entitled to alimony as well. You're also entitled to child.
On what state?
Most states.
It's not most
I think you'd have to
states.
find me a state
Okay,
that doesn't have that.
Malik,
fact
we're going
check
to
that.
need
I
to
think New
Google
York
that
is
real
7.
quick. So common law marriage kicks in if you're living together for 3 years?
I thought it was
It depends on the
I've heard
state.
7.
Yeah.
So some states
I've
are
heard
two.
7.
Depend on the state.
Wait,
know
then I
New
need
York
to go
is
back in
7.
time if
Yeah.
that's the case. Because
Some states are 2, some are 3,
relationship.
some are
3
5,
years.
and some are like it's all. But the
So
basically what I
common
say to him
law.
is, I'd say
We got to look into this,
Yeah.
Goldie.
Fact check
I'd
that.
tell
What you
him
know
to look
about
at the law.
this? Kate, you're with some dude. You're together a couple years. I love you, baby. Let's do this as a family. You just can't get married to the government. What would you say?
I would say, like, no, I'd leave because I think that,
You said you would leave?
yeah, because to me it's a big, I think that when you go into a marriage and you're agreeing to make that commitment to each other, like, there's a matter of, like, trust that you have within the relationship and the bond that, like, you're creating. And if you're going to go into that and you have to have, like, a backup plan for yourself or, like, a safety net, then you're already expecting it to fail. You're not completely invested in the marriage or the relationship in general. Like, you're already anticipating that it's not going to work out. So why would I go into it with you if you're not planning that it's going to work out and you're not trusting that we're going to work it out and be together?
Let me
Like,
ask you something.
Hold on, bro.
Stop the cap. You do realize that we can see you lying, right?
This is a disingenuous argument. And women always like to use this logic because they know at the end of the day, it benefits them. That logic doesn't make any sense. You know why? Because we all have this thing called insurance. And we have insurance on multiple things. You have insurance for your car in case you get in an accident. You have insurance for your home in case something happens, your house catches on fire, there's a tornado, and you lose your home. You have health insurance. You have so many different types of insurance. A prenup is just an insurance on a marriage. Women can seem to perfectly understand that until it comes to marriage. You know why? Because the prenup protects the men, and they don't want you to get that protection because if they want to divorce you, they want to be able to take half your shit. Oh my God, bro, disingenuous.
You bring up a good point. You drive a car?
I do.
What kind of car?
It's a Honda.
That a girl? What kind of car insurance you got?
It's
Exactly.
like all the insurance on the, I don't know, it's
You got
Allstate.
car insurance?
I do.
Okay. You're a pretty healthy girl, right?
I think so.
Okay, what kind of health insurance you got?
It's my mom's.
Okay, but you have health insurance.
Yeah.
Again, one more thing. Am I supposed to take someone serious who's young enough that their mom is still paying for their health insurance? She's 19. Get her off the stage, man.
Got it. Okay. So even though you're healthy, you have health insurance.
Okay.
Even though you have a car, you're never in a car accident, you have car insurance.
Talk to
Yes.
him.
What if I were to tell you that the prenup is just divorce
I
insurance?
get
Exactly.
the concept behind it 100%. Like I understand like the logic of like you need to protect yourself and everything, but I just don't think in my particular situation I would feel comfortable then going into that, like having kids, raising a whole family and doing all of these things with someone if I felt like in the back of their mind there was still a piece where they like felt like they had to like have an escape route.
What happens
Or, like,
Again, why do you call it an escape route when 60 seconds earlier you said you fully understand the logic behind protecting yourself? Again, man, this is all disingenuous bimbo babble.
if there was an agreement, like, look, you're gonna get a push present for every kid, for every year that we stay divorced. I'm sorry,
like a Birkin
stay
per
divorced.
kid?
For every year that we're married, you're gonna get X amount. I'm not gonna leave you high and
but
dry.
then what's
like,
the difference between
I just don't want a court or the government telling us what we need to do. I want us to tell us what we need to do. And here's the paperwork, and we're gonna figure this out. And if somebody cheats, we'll figure it out. But I don't need the magistrate up in Dade County telling me what to do. Is that something you'd be open to?
It'd be a conversation, but initially I'm like grabbing the keys, packing the bags, like, all right, have a great life. But, you know, it takes some convincing.
Angela.
She already tell you where she at.
A man, he loves you very much. He says, listen, I don't want to marry you, but I'll marry you. What do you say this?
Listen, for me, I date to marry. And prenup is another thing. Like, I've dated millionaires in the past, and I was always upfront with the idea of I don't care about prenup, because if I don't have as much as the guy I'm dating, and he's already built his empire alone and he has all that money and he wants a prenup, that's perfectly fine, because I don't want to take anything away from a man who got to that point in his life before even meeting me, right? So prenup is one thing. Like, I can get married with a prenup and that's fine. But if someone is with me and plays those games that, oh, I don't want to get married, I'm out, because I'm not going to have someone's children in the future without being married.
Gotcha. So we have yes to a marriage, yes to a need to get married. You said you
Get a prenup, of course.
You're doing the prenup.
Of course, get a prenup.
I'm fine with the prenup.
You didn't need it.
Yeah.
What did you say?
As long as I get an engagement ring, a wedding ring, and a destination location wedding, we call each other husband and wife, then I'm fine. We don't need actually to get married, like with the courthouse.
As long as I get this, and this.
I want a big ring.
This chick sound like she just got done drinking a 40, but she just in it for the rings. She wants a big bad ring and a destination wedding. It sounds like she's anything else is up for grabs, and yeah, that's a red flag in my opinion. But to each his own.
How about you, Lydia?
Yeah, so my end goal for marriage is to have children, so I'm not getting into a marriage unless we're signing contracts and going to be legally married on paper. Because again, I want to have children, I need that security, so when I do get pregnant and I can't work for months on end, and even afterwards, I'm going to be like, okay, I'm secure in my marriage, we're good, he's working, I can take care of the children.
So you're saying, so what did you say you would agree to or not agree to?
So no, like we have to be married on paper.
Okay, but I guess the question here is, who's not willing to sign a prenup?
Yeah, they're making this so confusing. Yeah, she's saying that she's going to make sure she's married before she has her children, which is fine, but...
Oh no, I'll sign a prenup.
You'll sign the prenup.
But it protects both parties.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, because you want to know what's real on both sides. That's why the prenup's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to protect both parties.
Yeah. Final thoughts.
I agree with everything that Angela said. I think that I'm dating to marry, and that's what my intentions are. And I'm completely fine with signing a prenup, because it just wouldn't really be valid.
So just show of hands real quick, just so I can see who full on needs to get married. You know, court involved. I need to see, like, it needs to be legit for sure.
But let's
put
be
your
honest.
hands down. Who's willing to say we're married, we're together, but it's not like at a full on courthouse, the government is not involved.
Because then you're just like waiting for it to
have
fail.
more fun. There it is.
I don't trust the government, so.
But I think he should have asked another question to have them put their hands up. How many of y'all are willing to sign a actual prenup for it? Because they were mixing some of those topics up.
There it is. Find someone that doesn't trust the government.
I'm divorced, and people have asked me on my channel before, hey man, would you be open to marriage? And I say, yeah, man, I'm open to it. The only thing that I'm hesitant on is probably like the majority of fellas watching this is that getting married without a prenup and you can lose half your stuff. You can be married to a woman for 10 years and all of a sudden she's not happy and she files a divorce and then you can lose half your shit. And that's just something that no man wants to put up with. And I agree with the brother in the beginning of the video. He said, well, it don't matter if you get married if you don't have nothing, because when you get divorced, you won't lose anything. That's exactly what happened with my first marriage. I didn't have anything at the time. And now years have passed and I've acquired a few assets, not a ton, but I do continue to acquiring more. So it's one thing if you own 3 houses and you gotta lose 1.5. That's a lot. It's a lot when you only have, a certain thing. But if you have 100 homes and she gets 50 and you built and acquired this empire before she was around and she's just entitled to get half of it, that's why a lot of men are hesitant, because the system is rigged. The divorce industry has to be over $1 billion industry annually. And so people make a ton of money off doing that. And the last thing I'll say is just that one young lady who was talking, just that disingenuous point, as if signing a prenup with someone is entering it into a relationship when they already have a backup plan in their head and they're thinking things won't work out. And I said the same thing that the host said. It's just divorce insurance in case things don't work out. If you can understand the concept of insurance in all those other areas except divorce, it's disingenuous at best. But you guys let me know what you think. Do Better Squad. Fall out.